Earth is the foundation of impact. Our next Earth session is branching out with purpose. Sandy Hubbard is a growth strategist and marketing advisor who helps print leaders improve, grow, and achieve impact in an ever-changing business landscape. She helps clients strengthen their positioning, expand their networks, and make strategic connections that advance their goals. Coming from a multi-generational print family, Sandy has built a career spanning publishing, video production, nonprofit leadership, and print sales. Everybody, please welcome Sandy Hubbard.
Hi there. Good morning. Good morning from Portland, Oregon, USA.
Excellent. Sandy, so if you can tell everybody a little more about you, and I'll pop off screen until you call me back.
Okay, sounds good. Well, as Deborah mentioned, I'm a growth strategist and marketing advisor. I work with both printing companies with their marketing and sales departments, and especially with the owners on growing companies in the ways that suit that company the best. Not everybody wants to grow the same way, and not everybody's situated to grow the same way. I also work with a lot of solopreneurs and individuals who are wanting to make progress in their careers, or maybe have a side business that they want to grow. Or one of my recent clients was a well-established company, but they wanted to add a new division. And so we set kind of a short-term goal for that. And I love working quickly with clients. So that's one of, I think, the strengths that I bring to the table. I don't come in and just kind of wander around for a long time. It's like, let's look at this. Let's build some strategies. Let's try some stuff and let's get rolling. So that's what I do. And I'd like to build on what the last two panelists talked about in terms of self-reflection and taking action to push ourselves a bit. And I'm going to come at this from the social media standpoint. And I'm going to start by sharing two words with you, and they're kind of weird words. I'm a Jeopardy watcher. So the first word I learned on Jeopardy, which is propinquity. That's the first word. Propinquity, it's a hard word to say, is the tendency of humans to bond with people who are nearby. So these would be our families, obviously, but the friends we see on a day-to-day basis, people out in the community that we see, and because they're familiar, we feel close to them emotionally. So that's propinquity. The second word is homophily. That word is a mouthful. When I think of this word, I think of like when I first moved back after college with my parents for a couple months, and they were nice, but they would say, well, you're home awfully late. So I think of that when I think of the word homophily. And homophily is the tendency of humans to bond with people who are similar to us. And it's just obviously just like propinquity, bonding with people who are nearby, bonding with people who are similar to us is a really natural thing. So these could be people who are of a similar age, who have similar backgrounds, who share our values and beliefs. And because they're like us, we're more likely to just kind of psychologically trust them and feel a bond. These words are interesting because they reflect how many of us build our social networks. And so specifically, these would be, reaching out to friends on social media, coworkers, people that we went to school with, and people that we just run across in our day-to-day lives. So it's kind of a passive approach to building your network. And what I want to talk to you today about is the intentionality that Deborah opened today's conference with, which is, having more of a plan, having more of a purposeful approach to building our social media networks. So, everyone talks about the big picture with social media. It's going to do you good in your career. You need to be able to call on people. kind of a self-serving approach to social media. I have kind of a different look at it, which is I like to meet people and learn about them and get to know them and help them, because it's how I give back, it's how I serve, it's how I fulfill my mandate of helping print thrive. It's how I want to leave, make a difference on this earth. So, when you're looking at the length of your career, 30, 40, 50 years, it does make sense to consistently add new people to our circle and then nurture those relationships, just like we would with a garden. But the other thing that's strategic to remember is that, you might want to change jobs, might want to move up in your company, or move to a new city, move into a new field, or just get to the next stage in your personal life. And so having that big network is strategic. And the sooner we are in our career, we want to, build soon, just like Jamila was talking about with the money situation, is like start building while you have the resources and time to do it, and then it will bear fruit later in your career. Okay. So when we look at building our social media network, I think a lot of us, my clients, when I'm like, you have to build your network, and myself included, have this feeling of like, all right, this is not in my comfort zone. Yes, I can reach out and invite a friend, or I can invite someone I met in a networking meeting who said, hey, we should connect. Okay, like they're prepared for that, and they're going to likely say yes, and that's in my comfort zone. But to take control of this process and take responsibility for it, we do have to get out of that comfort zone. And so I think back when I first joined LinkedIn, which was in 2007, and I did just exactly what everybody else does, which is that propinquity homophily. I found people I knew, I invited them to connect, or I waited for strangers and acquaintances to connect with me. I mean, I was much more likely to just be like, all right, I'll wait for the other person to do it. So I would just sit around and wait for that. Or I'd try to make myself interesting and stand out so that they would connect with me. But I wasn't taking responsibility for that process. And so Deborah and I'll just kind of describe. Deborah and I ran a chat on Twitter, and both of us built huge networks on Twitter because we were running this chat. We were 500 and people would come to the chat a week. We had billions of impressions of people joining and interacting with us. It was super easy to build over there. Meanwhile, my LinkedIn was growing more slowly. And so when Twitter started to kind of collapse on itself, I said, I have to go over to LinkedIn and bring some of those connections over with me. And I had to get over that feeling, that awkward feeling about being the first person to reach out. I'd already spent so much time building and interacting on Twitter. I was like, if I'm going to spend the time doing this regularly, I can't just do it randomly. I have to have a plan. So here are some questions I asked myself, and I think you can apply this to all areas of your life, but specifically for me, for LinkedIn, was, what am I trying to do here? What kinds of people do I want to hang out with? What are my boundaries? Who do I want to help? And how do I want to help? And how do I want to grow as a human being through this process? I mean, that sounds kind of esoteric, but, literally, like, as Jamila said, when we're evaluating which kinds of jobs we might want, we go through that evaluation process. And, in my case, I spend many hours a week on LinkedIn. That's where my potential clients are. It's where my current customers are. So, if I'm going to be over there tending this garden and I want it to bloom, I'm the one that has to do the planting. I'm the one that has to take that responsibility. So, this sounds kind of, vague. Yeah, that sounds great. Take responsibility, go make connections. But what I'm going to do for you today is tell you who some of the people are that you can make connections with so that it becomes easier. I'm going to give you 8 categories of people so you can just kind of systematically say, all right, I'm going to pick people from these categories instead of just sitting there wondering, oh, I wonder who I should connect with. So here's some ideas that you can try. Number 1, propinquity. We're going to start with the people that I mentioned earlier, which are the people we already know. So a lot of those people have already come across, LinkedIn, you've connected with them. But now the responsibility part is you've got to go out and do some searching and see if you can find more. So you're going to use the search function, look for their names, find them, write up a little intro. Well, you might see if they're active or not, but if they are, you're going to write up a little intro, and then just kind of keep that and refine it. Don't try to reinvent it every time. And you can say something like, "Hi, so-and-so, it's great to see you here. I'd love to connect." You don't have to, they already know you. You don't have to go into a big ordeal. And the more you can kind of make that a natural thing, the easier it is to not overthink it every time you come across someone You just pop that in there, make it personal, invite them to connect. And if they don't accept a reply, you just kind of have to keep rolling. You can't take it personally. Not everybody's actively checking their invitations. Not everybody will recognize you from your social media photo. I mean, that's the case with me in a lot of cases. But it's still okay because, again, you're doing the part of the work that has to be done, which is taking responsibility for the relationship. And it's such a good habit that transfers over to the rest of your life. So that's group 1 of the people to connect with. Group 2 would be the people who are similar to us, the homophily people. And one easy place to make connections with people who are similar to us is in the Girls Who Print LinkedIn group. And of course, join the paid membership online. But you may be a member of the Girls Who Print LinkedIn group, but you may not know how to find the other members. So I'm trying to give you lots of value here. So I'm going to run through that process. When you're on LinkedIn, do this later. Don't go there right now. Go up to the top navigation. You'll see like a blue in symbol, LinkedIn logo, and across that bar on the right-hand side, you'll see your own face. And right next to that is a little grid of 9 dots. Click on that. Then click on groups. And then click on Girls Who Print Global. Hopefully that's at the top of the list because I'm expecting and hoping that you are active in the group. So the groups you're in most actively will show up at the top of your groups list. And when you get to that page, you'll see a blue bubble on the upper right-hand side, and it says Invite Connections. And under that, you'll see in all caps, See All. So you click on that. That will give you the full list of almost 12,000 women in the LinkedIn Girls Who Print group. And you can go through those, and because you're connected through a group, you can invite people to connect. Even if they're strangers, you have that propinquity and that homophily. You have that something in common. So go through those member lists, find people who look interesting, connect with them respectfully, don't spam them or anything. Make it personal, but just make it part of your plan to go into your groups, make those connections, enrich and become interconnected. And the nice thing about Girls Who Print is, we have unified belief about women in the print industry and women in the world. So we have that unified belief with each other. And so, at our core, we are each other's people, and it makes it just so much easier to connect with people like that. So that's group number 2 of people to connect with. Group number 3 is people who do what you do at other companies. And this is really important for people early in their careers because we get in these bubbles. You know your coworkers well, you know people who you see in your day, but you're not reaching across the industry to make connections. And people who do what you do at other companies, when you invite them to connect, and you might have to write a note to these people because they'll be like, why is this person connecting with me? But as you both grow in your careers, someone will be maybe a little farther ahead or doing something interesting or taking some certifications that you're like, oh, that's a good idea. Or they might have an opening at their company and they let you know about it. So this is a really strong category of people to connect with early in your career. Fill it out. It can be people all over the world. It can be people at companies that compete with your company, but it can be people, across the country, bigger companies, smaller companies. So super strategic. And then once your career advances, you start to think of these people as colleagues. Everybody's kind of moving at a different rate. And they may have progressed to the point where you guys aren't exactly doing the same types of jobs, but you still travel in the same circles. You have similar customers. You go to the same trade shows and events. So you're colleagues now. And to find these people, you can set up an advanced search in LinkedIn. You can search people by job title, seniority, company name, company size, location. Advanced search is amazing, and you can save those searches so you can either create a list of people that you'd like to research and potentially connect with, or that you can just keep revisiting that search and finding new people. Then the next thing you can do to meet those people would be go out to Google or do an AI search and just describe what you're looking for. Say, here's what I do, and here are the types of people I'd like to meet at other printing or graphic arts related companies around the world. And as you generate those lists, then you can copy them into LinkedIn and find them there. So in a lot of cases, that's faster than using LinkedIn search. So that's my little tip. So that's group 3, people that do what we do at other companies. Group 4, this one's going to sound counterintuitive, but this is a really good one I've found, especially for me. I look for smart and intriguing people in any category, any field, who are active on social media, but are only connected to a small number of people. And when you talk about intentionality, they're active, but they're keeping their circle small. And so they're not growing big networks, which is what I'm encouraging you to do, but they are curating their connections, which means the people that they're connected to are going to be really interesting. I've got people like this in our print chat group. I've got a lot of folks like this that I'm connected to on Blue Sky. They have interesting jobs, and they make interesting comments, and they seem to know everybody. And it's a really great honor that either they've chosen me to connect with or they've agreed to accept my invitation when I connect with them. So for these folks, you can't rush into it. You have to kind of prove yourself first. But when you build these relationships, they're very rich and rewarding. And I find that they stand the test of time as well. So I've got folks that I just can't believe I've met in print chat 15 years ago, and they're still hanging with me and interacting. And like I say, just really rich part of the garden. Number 5, people who are eager to connect, and those are people who are active and you're coming across them every day. Authors, public speakers, even salespeople in our industry. Number 6 would be people outside the printing industry, different innovative thinkers. Again, they'll be very motivated to connect. Next one's important. Number 7, people who've lost their jobs. So we can amplify their posts, be encouraging, invite them into our LinkedIn groups. Number 8 would just be cool people everywhere, and they're friendly, helpful, and optimistic. They can be from anywhere in the world, and they share content that makes you feel good. So when you intentionally reach out to these 8 categories of people, it helps you expand your network. It helps you make it a habit to push past your comfort zone and just set goals and start going out there and making those connections. And no matter where we are in our careers, we can take regular steps to plant and grow a sustainable network. So that's it. Thank you.